In this video, we're going to learn how to do metric to metric unit conversions. We have a special video just for metric to metric unit conversions because these types of conversions are simpler to complete because the metric system uses powers of 10 rather than the English conversions where you don't have powers of 10. For example, there are 5,280 feet in 1 mile, 12 inches in 1 foot. It makes it more complex when you're trying to convert. Rather than metric to metric unit conversions, just powers of 10, so you're simply sliding the decimal point to the left or the right some certain number of times. So this makes the fences method that we use for English to metric or English to English conversions unnecessary for these conversions. It's a much simpler task. For this video, or for these conversions, you're going to need to use your green sheet. The table to the right with the prefixes will help you find the powers of 10 and therefore help you convert. The first example, 13.1 kilometers to meters. So on your table, find the power of 10 for kilo, the K. And when you do that, you should get 10 to the power of 3. The power of the meters, or the base unit, is 0. There's no prefix. This is important. It tells you how many times to move the decimal place. The power of 3 to the power of 0, that's a distance of 3. You got to move the decimal place 3 times. So move decimal 3 times. Students usually pick up on that pretty well. The issue becomes, do I go left or do I go right? Do I make the number bigger or smaller? And that depends on what you're converting from and to. If you're going from kilometers to meters, kilometers is a much larger unit than a single meter is. So you're making your unit smaller. So when you do that, it takes more of the smaller units to make up a bigger unit. So when you make your unit smaller, your actual number will get bigger. Because in this case, you need 1,000 meters for every kilometer. So if you convert from kilometers to meters, your number gets bigger because your unit is getting smaller. They're always in the opposite direction. So if your number is getting bigger, you make the decimal place go to the right, in this case, 3 times. So you're going to move this 3 times to the right. So 1, 2, 3. That's going to be 1, 2, 3. So 13,100 meters. If you want to show your work by writing this again and drawing the bumps, if you will, like that, you want to cross that out, just rewrite the number, please, afterwards so we know what your final answer is. And that's as simple as it is. You count the number of powers, the distance, and you move the decimal place that many times. Let's try another example. 0.00369 kilometers to centimeters. The power of 10 for kilometers, we've already said, is power of 3. The power of 10 for centi, or centimeters, is negative 2. There's 100 centimeters in a meter. There are a meter is 1/1000th of a kilometer. So we have power of 3, power of negative 2. That's going to move the decimal 5 times. Move decimal 5 times. Frequently, students try to add these two numbers together, and you don't want to do that. You want to find the distance between positive 3 and negative 2. And that's a distance of 5. So you're going to take this decimal and move it to the right or left. Let's determine that. Kilometers to centimeters, you're going from a big unit to a small unit. So the unit is getting smaller. So that means the number gets bigger. So if the number gets bigger, you move the decimal place to the right. You're going to do it 5 times. So I could just draw around a number here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. My new number is 369 centimeters. Another example, we have 56.34 millimeters to meters. Let's place our powers of 10. Milli is 10 to the negative 3rd power. This base unit with no prefix is 10 to the 0th power. We've had some confusion about which M means what. The second M in the unit stands for the actual base unit. The prefix is what we're talking about with the powers of 10. So that first M is when we go down to your table on the left side, it says milli. That's the first M. The second M is for meters. Do not put this power of -3 on this 10 for this M. This M stands for the base unit meters. The distance here from -3 to 0 is 3. So you're going to move decimal 3 times. Now you're going from millimeters to meters. A millimeter is much smaller than a meter, so you're making your unit bigger. So if your unit gets bigger, it takes less of them to measure the same distance, so your number will get smaller. These are always the opposite direction. So if my number gets smaller, this decimal point is going to go to the left. And how many times? 3 times. So 1, 2, and then 3. 0.05634. Let's make that 0.05634. That's going to be in meters. So this example was different because we had made the unit bigger and the number got smaller. Let's do our last example. 13.69. This is a micrometer. That's the Greek letter mu to centimeters. So micrometer to centimeters. If you look on your table, this fancy U or mu is going to be 10 to the power of -6. Centi is 10 to the power of -2. That is a distance of 4. So move decimal 4 times. A micrometer is smaller than a centimeter, so we're making the unit bigger. Therefore, my number gets smaller. So the number gets smaller. You're going to move this decimal point to the left 4 times. So 1, 2, and then 3, 4. So 2 zeros after the decimal in front of the 1. And that's in centimeters. So to recap briefly, to convert metric to metric, you just need the powers of 10 for the prefixes. Write them down so you can kind of tell and calculate what the total distance between the two powers is. The distance tells you how many times to move the decimal place. Remember, if a unit is getting smaller, your number gets bigger. If your unit gets bigger, your number gets smaller. Those are always in the opposite direction.